have a favorite nostalgic franchise that we wish we had received one more story, or a current continuation of a franchise that is held in such high regard by the new creators with the source material that they capture the heart and soul of what makes that franchise rememberable? In this episode of Delve Live, we're going to talk about three such franchises: Superman 78, Batman 89, and Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's now time to delve live. Welcome everyone to an episode of Delve Live. I'm Tom Morris. For those that haven't watched it yet, Delve Live is a show where we discuss everything that celebrate everything pop culture, from video games to comic books to movies to animation. Pop culture is so vast and so fun, and it's always great when we have opportunities to celebrate and discuss it. If you haven't yet, make sure you like us on our social media: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. This episode of Delve Live, like I said, is titled Supes, Bats, and Proton Packs. The reason I'm talking about these franchises, because within the last week, we have seen that there's been some new announcements regarding these franchises. And we'll start with a little history about what made these franchises so great and what we're hoping to see continued on into the next generation of these stories. First, we're going to talk about Superman 78. What is Superman 78? Well, let's take a quick history lesson about Superman 78 for those that may have forgotten what we're talking about here. How many of you remember Superman the movie that was released on December 15th, 1978? A little background on Superman the movie. Academy Award winners Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman had an all-star cast in the fantastic, action-packed film that made Christopher Reeve an international star, playing the greatest superhero of all time. From the doomed planet of Krypton, two parents launch a spaceship carrying their infant son to Earth. Here he grows up to become Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for the Metropolis Daily Planet. But with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, he battles for truth and justice as Superman. I was quite young when Superman came out in the movie theaters. Who remembers that iconic score by John Williams? Christopher Reeve as Superman to people is the definitive Superman Clark Kent, Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, and Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. I'm showing you just a couple of images, stills from the movie Superman 78. It's very iconic what they did, and to some people that is still the definitive comic book movie. This week, there's been talk about this, and now it's made official. Step onto the streets of Metropolis with Lois and Clark in DC's Superman 78, launching August 24th. You'll believe a man can fly in Superman 78 by writer Rob Venditti and artist Wilfredo Torres, the comic book you've been waiting for and the sequel you thought you'd never see. Beginning this fall, decades after Richard Donner and Christopher Reeve's Superman the movie introduced generations of fans to a silver screen version of DC's Man of Steel, DC returns to this beloved property to tell new stories set within this world with the publication of Superman 78 by writer Rob Venditti and artist Wilfredo Torres. Torres said, "There's no fictional character that I love more than Superman. And of all the many interpretations of the big guy in comics, animation, TV, and film, the Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner version is the one I love the most. Working on this project is very literally a childhood dream come true. My earliest memory interacting with the DC universe is seeing Christopher Reeve fly across the screen. While others might say that the John Bryan era is their Superman or the Dan Jurgens era is their Superman, Reeve is mine. Superman is and has always been my favorite superhero, but Superman 78 is a project I never dreamed of working on because I didn't seem possible could ever exist. This is the gig of a lifetime." When Superman 78, for a little context, came out, it was probably the most ambitious movie at the time, because back then, comic books were not a sure thing. Comic book properties have come a long way since 1978. It was actually broken up into two movies Superman 1, and then if you've ever had an opportunity to watch Superman 2, watch the Donner cut. And that is pretty much close to the vision that Richard Donner had for the Superman movie. But this comic book series is going to take Superman the movie and continue on with stories set in that universe. And the first look preview, Superman 78 #1, begins with all the classic elements of Superman the movie on full display. In Superman 78, bystanders are surprised and delighted by Superman's abilities, and Lois Lane doesn't yet know that Clark Kent is secretly Superman. The sheer thrill of seeing a man fly, leap, or stop a bullet will be reflected in this environment where Superman has just been introduced. Inspired by Donner's classic, timeless style of superhero storytelling, in Superman 78, Venditti and Torres will remind fans that a man can truly fly. Lois, fancy bumping into you on the way to the office. Morning, Clark. I can literally hear the actors and actresses Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve saying these lines. Some more preview pages as we go, just kind of setting in Clark's buffoonery, but still catching the bad person. The artwork looks incredible. Looks like they've captured what the looks of these characters were. This is a Superman 78 #1 cover by Wilfredo Torres, a variant cover by Evan Doc Schoner, another variant cover, an iconic Jim Lee comic captures the spirit of 78 with an homage to Jim Lee's Superman artwork. Yeah, this one doesn't look too suspicious there. Superman 78 #2 cover by Ben Oliver. And this issue will arrive on comic shops on September 22nd. The title for Superman 78, it reads, after a battle with a rampaging robot, Superman enlists an unlikely ally to crack the code behind who sent it. He needs an intelligent technological genius, and that can only mean one person. Lex Luthor. Superman 78 #3 will arrive October 26. If you remember Marlon Brando's iconic delivery of Jor-El, in order to save Metropolis, Superman must surrender to Brainiac or watch his city burn to the ground. After being taken aboard Brainiac's ship, Superman finds a shocking piece of his past that changes his entire future. Meanwhile, Lois Lane gets a cryptic message from a mysterious source claiming to have a way to save the Man of Steel. Definitely will be getting the Brainiac facing off against Reeves' Superman. Issue #4 will arrive on November 23rd. That is Superman 78, a 6-issue miniseries coming out DC digital and in print, continuing the saga of this iconic Superman movie that pretty much started it all. John Williams score, when I was reading these preview pages, I could hear the characters speak the way they did in the movie, and I could hear the iconic John Williams score. One of my favorite movies of all time. Really, I'm glad that they're going to continue this. Who remembers this iconic symbol in the movie theaters? Batman, the movie, came out on June 23rd, 1989. Tim Burton directs. Michael Keaton stars as Batman, and Jack Nicholson stars as his arch foe, the Joker, in the first of the blockbuster Batman series of features. As the Dark Knight, defender of law and order in Gotham City, Batman treads the shadow zone between right and wrong, fighting with only his skill and martial arts in his keenly honed mind to defend the innocent and to purge the memory of his parents' brutal murder. Always keeping his true identity as millionaire philanthropist, Bruce Wayne a closely guarded secret. Batman, based upon Batman characters created by Bob Kane and published by DC Comics. And it also was Academy Award-winning film for art direction. A musical score by Danny Elfman. I remember when in the movie theater, we all cheered when we first saw the Batmobile at the same time. That picture right there very iconic. Step back into Gotham City of Tim Burton's seminal classic Batman movies. Batman 89 by screenwriter Sam Hamm and artist Joe Quinas begins on August 10th. Step back into the Gotham of Tim Burton's seminal classic Batman movies on August 10th. Sam Hamm and artist Joe Quinos will pull on a number of threads left dangling by the prolific director in an incredible new comic book miniseries. When the new 6-issue comic book run launches next month, Gotham City is being torn in two as citizens dressed as Batman and Joker duke it out in the streets. As DA Harvey Dent tries to keep the city together, he targets the one problem tearing it apart: Batman. And he'll get Bruce Wayne's help in taking down the Dark Knight. In this first look preview, all the classic elements of Burton's Batman are on full display. I can hear Batman's music. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You scroll through some of these right now. Batman looks just like he did. Even got the Batmobile. A giant penny. There is a variant cover by Jerry Ordway. Very fitting. And you notice Two-Face Harvey Dent is actor Billy D. Williams. I'm glad to see, because we were kind of deprived that we did not get Billy D. Williams run as Two-Face. Another variant cover for Batman 89. As you can see, more character detail artwork. You got Catwoman, Two-Face Harvey Dent, and Robin. This looks like a movie poster style VHS cover, if I'm being honest with you. It's a variant cover. Another variant cover by Francisco Mattina, available at certain comic book shops. I just love the way that they've captured the art of this Batman. Now, coming up in the Batman 89 run, Batman 89 number 2 will arrive in comic shops on September 14th. An iconic upside down scene for Batman. Another variant cover. And this is a Lee Weeks variant cover for Batman number 3. When Batman did come out in 89, I was probably about 14. This is when, to me, superhero movies were very cool and acceptable. It wasn't a sure thing either when Batman came out. That's one of the things I want to remember is, yes, they came out and they were very highly successful, but they also were not a sure thing. Yes, there were comic book fans that went to it, people buying merchandise, action figures. It's not like it was today, but that's what's really cool is, like Josh put in the comments, to see Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. He specifically signed up for that role, if I recall, because he wanted to play Two-Face. He knew Harvey Dent was going to be later. In those later movies, they went in a completely different direction. So to see in spirit these creators take these movies and say, we know what the tone was. We knew what's going on, and let's continue that tradition. Let's take that source material and bring it out for more people to enjoy. That's what I'm really excited about these two comic books.